Okay, did a few changes and arranges, just a couple modifications, and it was mainly right in this area here. I changed and added another spring over on this side here. I have yet to add that, but I'm going to go ahead and add that because one spring on the one side causes this to be a little cattywampus. It causes it to bind a little bit, so two springs will pull it up straight, and it's riding good in there. It can't really go too much on the side, but these can do it, so I added that. This is how I changed this a little bit. I did put a nut on these two, and this is a carriage head that goes down inside on the top of the block. It pushes it down. The two springs pull it back up. This is a spacer block that I added on top of the arms. It doesn't really show it like that, but there's a little spacer block that fits underneath this top board. And then I of course embedded two nuts on the top of this board to keep this from going around, and they're in sync with each other, so there's no binding. This is just a little red oak handle with double nuts there, and a lock nut and a nut. A little piece of red oak. It's about 6/16 or so. Somewhere in there. But anyway, that's all working good. And then I modified this for that other channel. A couple other things I did is down in here on the outside arms, I put a spot where these pins come out and engage that slot up there that I was showing, so that a bolt can go right in there. So and if I ever do another one, they'll cut those out for that. And of course, this is a little bit different than what I had there, but I need to change that just a little bit. But other than that, it's all going good. Let me go ahead and turn everything back on here. This thing here, the cheapest one is $159 plus that's shipped to the house. Mine is an extra 8 inches longer, so those get into that $400 range when they get out there and get that longer. So anyway, we're going to find out about how this thing works and that kind of thing. I will probably change one of the dies here on the gear side or the roller side, the one that goes right here. I'll probably put a smaller washer on that one so that it doesn't interfere with the carriage bolts and that kind of thing. The plywoods, they worked okay. Baltic birch was by far the best to make stuff out of, but I was running out of all my material. This was all built out of scrap that I had. I did pick up the two oak dowels that were 36 inches long, 1 inch round, and did that. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Everything worked according to plan. I didn't have to change too much. I'm very pleased how this came out. So let's get back and head out to the shop. All right, there you have it. Basically, you take your gears and you turn around. I have put no lube on this. Haven't sanded it, to make it quiet or anything yet. I'm working on this bearing block just a little bit more. I did think that I'm going to trim this down, which is the size of this piece here. So I'm going to trim that piece down and then change my bolt hole locations. Also, whenever I put pins, I just used a 1/8 inch drill bit and put those bends in for that and just drill them into the shaft. Put that in there like that. And of course I didn't put one out here and then one on the other side so that I'm not keep putting that in there. Anyway, this is here, and these will get on here. This is the one that goes up and down. You can see there. So there's your roller bearing there, and here's your roller bearing here. And I've got this one thing that I'm customizing right now. But anyway, so a little bit of with this bearing here, blocking here, this will keep that from moving. But anyway, there's of course no twist in that to speak of. I have a spacer block that'll go right here, and then one that'll go all the way across here, and it'll overlap a little bit, and then this one block that goes up and down. past the spacer block, it'll have a there'll be a 3/4 inch spacer block here, so that this part here will go up and down and that kind of thing. But anyway, there's your rollers, and whenever they're, you know, I got it to where it's not even you know, about right in the center, goes up, and it gives you room to put your cardboard in, and then it also has room to push down on this block so that I can really put some tension on it. So, and then I'll cut these off whenever I get to that point, you know, to make them like that. So anyway, you can see all the way down, I got a little bit more of a deal. So anyway, so that's going together. And coming back over here to the CNC, when I originally made this piece, these are too far apart, so I need to bring them in, and I've got a new tool path set up for that. So I'll bring those in, and these will get, as you can see, my slots are, I thought about putting something on the outside for the slots, and so that they would go up and down and I could mount them. But you know, I'm thinking, nah, let's just use this right here, not make it any more bulky than it has to. So I'm gonna put in a couple of dowel bolts in here, and those will go through here and it'll mount up in there. So I'm cutting 2 new slots that are right in here. That's your dowel bolt for your spring mechanism. And then I've got to drill it down here that will raise this up and down like this. And so this will capture that and raise this up and down. So anyway, that's what I'm doing there. And I'm going to put like I said, a dowel bolt in there. So let me get that. All right. After you cut something 3 times, you think you might get it right. So anyway, there is the 3rd extension. Hopefully this will be the wrong one that I want. So let me pop it out of there and get her put on. Well, I thought I had some barrel dowel bolts that I could drill straight in there and line it up. The regular bolt can be done. It's a little tricky. I'm using a magnet to kind of wiggle it in there. I got the other one in there, but this one's giving me a little bit of a fight. And then I'm going to put a Dremel cut in here for a screwdriver so that I can draw them up and get them kind of tight, or not tight, but loose. Okay, that's in. It just needs a little bit of lubrication. And yeah, note to self, don't let those out. And you know what, I'll shoot a little lubrication in there, leave them in there. I probably will glue them in with some epoxy or some hot melt just to keep them locked in place for a while. And anyway, I did get my slots in here, so I can tighten them up with a screwdriver if they need anything like that. This thing's about ready to roll. I'm going to put a little paste wax on my shafts and gears and stuff, just to get them to where they turn nice and smooth around where the friction parts are. And there we go. Well, the old glue joint and the old cherry plywood, maple plywood, or whatever you want to call it, he gave up the ghost on that one, but that's not too bad. That's the only one that it really did mess up with. So anyway, there we go. There's the thing, it's like right there, and that's with them sitting there nice and tight. And I really haven't got it lubed up yet, but we're working on it. Got to put a spring up here, and yeah. So anyway, there we go. We're getting closer all the time. Let's see what we got here. Well, I pulled off the old Instabond with the accelerator. That's how I store it. I just throw a little piece of plywood on there and put on a piece of Velcro on it, and then put some screws in it so it stays on there, because that not very many glue stay to the cap, so I'd use a little screw in there to keep that going. But anyway, I did fill that little hole right over here with that, and there we go there. We're getting closer all the time. So let's get this spring thing going on here. Got to put a spacer block in here, and then another piece on top there. Alright, pulled out table saw, just cut a couple pieces of scraps. This is a spacer so this block can come up and down, and then the bolt will go in over here on this side with the piece that controls it. And here we go. Let's cut it. Table saw. Alright, CNCs are wonderful machines. Yeah. You gonna call them in? And you need a socket head right there. There she is. Perfect. And ready to roll. Turn this thing upside down. Put the socket head in there and away we go. Alright, put a little paste wax on the threads and then around in there and then screwed it in there a little bit. And I'm going to put some of this glue in there and lock that nut in there. Instabond. Alrighty, there she is. That's my corrugated fiberboard boat bender, or fold bender for my cardboard boats. And what this does is, this is wooden gears. And they turn around like this, like that. Put a little wax on it from occasion, and that turns to two rollers like that. Kind of like a, you know, some of the old timers. This might have been a good old-fashioned, you know, clothes wringer. Okay, now this one here, I run through there, and you see how nice fold that is. This is 1.5 thickness. I've got some that's, you know, 3-ply or double thickness, whatever you want to call it. And it's really hard to bend. Now it's really easy to bend along the folds like this where the creases are, because you got a natural crease in there. But you can still do that. And then you know, makes it real easy for doing that. So this right here is the same, you know, 1.5 thickness. Anyway, I'm going to take this thing from over here, like right here. I'm just going to feed it in there straight like that. And generally there'd be a, you know, a youngin's over here turning this, and if I had 3 hands, I would guide it, and then that. So right now I'm just going to let the thing pull itself in, and you can see it's going through there, pulling it straight. And what it does is it mashes the cardboard so that you can get a bend in it. Okay. And like right there, you got a bend across there. All right, I'm going to put 2 bends in this cross grain. This will be all crumpled looking if we didn't have this bender. I'm going to follow the line in here, and I'm going to crank with that handle. And this thing will go up to, this is 19, so probably about 7 inches, so probably 26 inches wide. So that'll about get every seam that we would ever want in a cardboard boat building. And so this right here allows your cardboard to go through there, and that kind of thing. So let me get, let me go ahead and fold this up so we can look at it. All right, there's your fold. And to get that fold, you just bend it right there. And you got a nice, neat fold, no cuts, nice and sharp, and it's easy to fold, bend. So there you go. That worked out good. I'm gonna run one more fold up in here, and we'll make that a channel. All right, that hasn't been possible before with a crescent wrench, as you all well know. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Did a nice job, and this is like the 3rd time I've used the thing. So just a little bit about it. It's all made out of 3/4 plywood. You've seen the build probably, and I don't know if I'll put some guides on the side here that will cause this to, you know, track straight. But anyway, the spring will bring this up. And once it gets looped, you know, once it gets eased up so you can get your cardboard in there easy, like a big sheet, then you crank it down to get this to crush down on your cardboard where you want it. If you want it tighter, then you put more pressure on it, but it don't have to be real tight. And that just cranks around here, and of course it cranks back up. And this thing here, once it gets lubricated up a little bit, it'll start moving around. And there's the few. That's how that all worked out. Compression spring and carriage bolt. That's on the head there, so that it won't be digging. And then I embedded a bolt down in there. That's the way to go with CNC. You make it fit perfect, and it's just like, it's easy. Okay. I'm not satisfied with how I did this right here. I'll probably do that a little bit differently. Maybe countersink those down just a little bit. Might not be a bad thing to do, and that way that can ride on there without binding. It's turning relatively easy. All I did is put a little paste wax on it. I haven't treated anything else on there. All these are just about 1.5 inch sheetrock screw and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with this thing. I'll probably get some of the guys to bend some up here and with cardboard. But anyway, there you go. A little bit of wax. And so there you go. And this thing here, with this being up like that, you know, it of course has that in there. So yeah, anyway, so there we go. Way to go. Good to go. Really pleased how it's working. All right, I just fixed that knob. Anyway, so that's sliding down, closing up the gap here so that those are touching. So when your cardboard goes in there and you start running the reel, it turns that down there and drives, of course, around in there. But anyway, so that's working good. This is coming up now, the 2 springs being level. It's coming up relatively easy with the slider and clearing the 3/4 inch. Did add this fence in here and slide back to that point. Give us over 27 inches or so. So that's got kind of a sacrificial deal on it right back in here. And still new. I haven't waxed this yet, but that'll go back in there, and then you tighten this up. This knob's up down here. And say you wanted to flange at about 16 inches. Just bring them up flush. Them only have like 1/4 of play on them, where they're going to go about 1/4 inch, and then sit. That locks in pretty good. And then that's your fence. So you put your bead out here, 15 inches, 14 inches, whatever that is, and that'll put you a nice bead in there. And then this guy right here goes down. That, and away you go. If you get up here in 2 or 3 inches, bringing this out past this is not going to work too well. So that needs to have a stop on it. I need to put a stop on it so it can't go anywhere farther than that. So there we go.